Hot and sunny night in Louisville, Kentucky. And Lynn Family Stadium again plays host as Louisville City takes on Sporting Kansas City 2. And with former MLS Cup winning coach Thomas Rongen, Mike Watts on hand, about 5,000 once again here, socially distant, mask-wearing fans. Let's take a look at Group E. Is this desperation time?
A little bit, without a doubt. For both teams, by the way, the games come quick and furious, and you need to get on the winning sheet, so to speak. More important probably for Louisville City FC than it is for Kansas City.
For Kansas City, Brooks Thompson is their talisman in goal.
Yeah, Brooks Thompson is just unbelievable. He's big, he's strong, but for his young age, he's got a great starting position and makes some great reflex saves for this team. 9, by the way, in their last game, which is a season high. As I said again, he commands his box. He's got great reflexes. He's the big man in the back.
He's got a tough gig in front of him tonight. Cameron Lancaster's coming for him.
Absolutely. The former Tottenham Academy player, well-traveled, can hurt you so many different ways, Mike. You know, come inside, he can go at you 1v1, and there you see some of his numbers. He's expected to carry the load.
He is tonight's Power Agency player profile. Last year in Nashville, injuries. This year returns and scored in his 2020 debut. So we know who should score, but who's going to defend for Louisville City?
And that's huge, obviously. After 2 losses, you know, John Hackworth has made some changes. He made that change already 1 game prior to this one because he was not happy with, the defending, but more so, Mike, on the ball they were poor. They lost it in bad spots, high up the field, got countered, and lost 2-1 and 3-1. So it's important now that these 3 new players show their head coach their faith.
So the defenders are the same. Another goalkeeper change. Kansas City on the road for 14 of their 16 games. We'll show you their lineup, get you ready for kickoff when we return.
People are getting back out there, and your Toyota dealers say, welcome back, America, with low APR financing and great leases on Camry, the #1 selling car in America 18 years in a row. And now you can get a Camry with $2,000 customer cash off your best deal. That's $2,000 off any new Camry, including Camry Hybrid, Camry All-Wheel Drive, and Camry TRD. Don't miss your chance to get $2,000 off your best Camry deal at your Toyota dealer. Today, tomorrow, Toyota.
After being cooped up all spring, it's time to get outside and enjoy the summer of now. With amazing rates, Adventure Loans from Commonwealth Credit Union let you hit the road, or no road at all, with UTVs, ATVs, and motorcycles, and our recreational loans for boats, motorhomes, and campers. This year, make the most of every day and stay cool for the summer with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Rise and shine.
Get your morning routine back.
We want you to get up and get moving. Get in the know before you go out the door. From jam cams to traffic routes, I'll track the commute turnout. And a weather update about every 10 minutes to plan your week.
WDRB is your wake-up call.
So don't just get up in the morning, wake up with WDRB News.
WDRB, the morning source.
Right here. See the world through Sheldon Vision.
My brain is better than everybody's!
Experience life Sheldon style.
Look! A new topical antihistamine with lidocaine. I can't wait till I get a rash.
This is Sheldon Vision.
Why don't you and I go for a nice walk together?
Everything is just sex with you, isn't it?
The Big Bang Theory.
Bazinga.
Weeknights at 7:30 on WBKI.
The national anthem playing at Lynn Family Stadium. Many players choosing to kneel as the USL All 35 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Let's take a look at the lineups, and we begin with Louisville City FC. It is a lineup that sees 2 changes. Now McKay back into the order, Ben Lunt back into goal.
Yeah, and if you look at this team right now, where the changes have been made is in the back for John Hackworth, but I like that combination of Omby, Lancaster, and Bone up front.
Meanwhile, Sporting Kansas City 2 keeping precisely the same starting lineup. which also is presented by Hometown Pizza.
Yeah, leading by the great goalkeeper, Brooke Thompson. You and I talked to Paulo Nagamura, the coach of Kansas City 2, and he's very happy. Wilson on the board with 1 goal already. 11 goals in 13 last year, Mike. That's the guy to go to.
Tonight's keys to the game, powered by Kentucky Lottery, who remind you that lottery proceeds fund college scholarship and grant programs, including every dollar of the popular Keys Scholarship Program for Louisville. Trust the process.
Absolutely. John Heckworth has built an incredible standard for this team. Trust in your DNA. And your DNA is we possess the ball. We are aggressive. We are experienced. Do not get away from makes us a good team. We want to play in the half of the opponent. We want to be aggressive, and we need to get a W.
And for Sporting Kansas City, too, 14 of their 16 games this year will be on the road. One of those is already in the books. And so while Louisville starts with 8 straight at home, including 2 in a row against SKC2 this week, a lot on the line for both sides. The bottom 2 teams in Group E, Louisville City, Sporting Kansas City 2 from Lynn Family Stadium in Kentucky.
And there are a lot of similarities, Mike, on these teams. They both want to play football. It's an inexperienced young team versus a very experienced team in Louisville with John Hackworth. Something will give in this game.
Pat McMahon. Well, that draws a cheer from the crowd. Mon Premier, a Haitian winger, out of his boots a bit. McMahon. You've been in John Hackworth's shoes, Thomas, not only at the youth national team level where there are expectations. Is this given away? Carried up by Cerna all the way to Lund, but also the expectations that come with a team with a new venue. Couple losses in a row, that's very uncommon. There is pressure here.
I told you my story about Robert Kraft. I got fired by Robert Kraft a year and a half in because of marketing reasons, which he told me. I went back there 6 months later and won the MLS Cup. So he didn't believe in me. I hope they believe in John Hackworth because he knows what he's doing, Mike.
History says yes, they do. Mon Premier, who simply has Fredinho on the back of his jersey. Back by Masoso. Speedy Williams.
That's great. That's so pure. You can hear the players say, the ball is flat, referee. There's John Hackworth.
3rd season, 2nd full season at the helm. Former head coach for USF, the US U17s, the Philadelphia Union.
Yeah, I had the pleasure to work with John very closely when I was the under-20 coach, obviously. I used to go down to the IMG Academy where they started in residency, and he's brought some great players through. Starting with Freddie Adu all the way to Josie Altidore, Michael Bradley.
Holmby steps in, a foul. Paulo Nagamura, 12 years in Major League Soccer, won the Open Cup 3 times and the MLS Cup twice in a career that spanned Kansas City and LA.
And you talked about keys to the game. You talked about road warriors in regards to Kansas City. And that's a true test here right now for Paulo Nagamura and his young team to be on the road so long and to get results in hostile environments. Great learning curve, though, for players. And eventually you want 1, 2, or 3 players to get to that first team. This is a great experience. Can we get wins on the road?
Ahead by Jimenez. Ownby rounding the corner. Ownby for Lancaster past him, and Mal McCabe was on the backside as well.
Yeah, we talked about Ownby, we talked about McCabe, Bone, and Lancaster. Ryan Ownby played for me, Mike, for the under-20s, and that showed you the capability still at 31 to turn the corner, accelerate, get end line. That final pass, though, which has been tough for this team throughout the first 2 games, still not there.
It's funny, when Ownby was 22 with the Houston Dynamo, they used to call him Grandpa. I imagine at 30 actually looks as good as he did when he was 21.
Yes, yes, yes. Every time we played an under-20 match, people thought we had an overage player in Brian Ownby. He did the wrist test, though. He was okay.
Yeah, yep, he's clean. Kansas City out of the back, 80 goals allowed last year, and that sounds horrendous because it did lead the championship. But 8 of them were against Louisville, 8 unanswered after a 3-0 lead in 30 minutes at Slugger Field a year ago. If you ask Paulo Nagamura, he'll say we had a good game and a half against Louisville in 2019. Jimenez.
Very interesting that with Kansas City, you got Duke that returned. He was there when they won that 16 and 17 Western Conference, Mike. Huge in midfield for Paulo Nagamura.
You think back to the 2017 USL Championship final telecast, Christian Duke was the first name mentioned. Williams. This wide, it's Jimenez. On beyond the run again, the slide in. Kabe Rad.
And those are great matchups out wide right now. Both teams want their fullbacks to get in that final third. And can you create 2 versus 1 right there? Jimenez trying to find Anbi with a through ball, just short corner.
Off that short corner driven ball. Easy for Kansas City. 5 minutes in. Scoreless in a game that for Louisville carries a little more weight now that Indy had that late 6th minute of stoppage time game winner against Pittsburgh. All of a sudden leaves them 6 points out of second and 9 out of first in the group, where only the top 2 get through.
Yeah, you look at that, Mike. You sometimes, inexperience might lead you away from what you had said. Trust the process, which you've done for years now with John Hackworth. Stay with that.
Cerno worked it out of the back. Riley. Lancaster pressing at Rad. When you don't get off to the start that you want, how soon do you begin to deviate as a coach? When do you become concerned?
I think right now what really has worked in help coaches throughout them, both sides for that matter, depending on the score obviously, is that tactical water break, Mike, that is instituted also for next year. It allows coaches within their teams to make tactical adjustments within the 11 that normally don't make their first sub or their second sub. But that's the time you want to start measuring where are we at. We're still at 0-0 against Kansas City. Do I need to bring in maybe a second forward? Do I push one of my center backs quicker into midfield to distribute? Those are the things that John Hackworth is thinking of. Nagamura right now saying, you know what, keep the 0 early on. That's important on the road. And let's work from there.
Tosh. Runs all the way back to Brooks Thompson. You mentioned all the young talent over the years that John Hackworth has helped to mold. Thompson, one of them, was on the U17 residency team in 2016.
Yeah, you got Chicago Fire, Union, Graz, you know, and Corbin Bowen played there with John Hackworth. You got Lancaster time at Nashville, Houston Dynamo with Anbi, so you got some incredible experience on the field for John Hackworth and his team. And one of the reasons why they've been so successful, because they've been there, they've done that. That's important, that experience for John that he has to rely on right now. And one of his difference makers has to step up today. You like it to be Lancaster, but I got a good feeling about Anbi. Not because he looks old, Mike, but because he's a pretty decent player. And that matchup actually against Robin, who just came in. I think he's a Rapids homegrown guy that just came to Kansas City. That's a good matchup for Louisville.
Finds Lancaster off the turn. Leads this across the face of goal. They'll be home. For what it's worth, Cameron Lancaster could have bagged a couple goals in the first half hour against St. Louis. Game that they lost 1-0 on a set piece gone awry.
Defensive posture right now from Kansas City, dropping with numbers. You can see that right now out of a 4-5-1, pressing when they can, which they do at this particular time. Again, a poor pass goes away for Louisville and allows Kansas City now to move real estate, so to speak, which is important, and maybe possess the ball. But a good first 9 minutes for Paulo Nagamura.
Slipped ahead. Duke. And Lund drives it away. This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Tosh and Sharpie in the back. George Davis the fourth, Paolo Del Piccolo out of the 18 tonight. Luke Spencer is available once again. Done with a little bit of a knock. He's capable to play this evening. Looked like it was turned over to Wilson Harris.
And not only is Wilson Harris a great striker, obviously, now 12 in 14 games, his last 14, so to speak, but he also starts the defending. First line of defending is your number 9.
Ownby once again on the move. Got the cross away, easy enough. Rabin with the defense.
And that's a tough, tall order for Rabin because the acceleration by Ownby, and there's a reason why they've gone that left side. You do your scouting properly, you know that certain matchups will work better for you. And you've seen Jimenez and Ownby really testing that right side of Kansas City.
Bit of interchange. Masoso returns. Lancaster, Ownby, Bone. He goes down, fair play. Well, Jake Davis has fans asking the referee some questions.
Great sequence right there. That's the way we know Louisville. 1 and 2 touch soccer. McKay, Bone, Lancaster. But again, the ability to get numbers centrally to defend by Kansas City has helped them to double real quick.
Cerna, veteran of 105 games in MLS with Colorado.
Yeah, both fullbacks, Mike, were Rapids, Colorado Rapids homegrown players, Rabin and Cerna.
Yeah, there were some headlines, what's wrong in Colorado? Truthfully, the answer probably lies in the fact that they're on another new coach.
So true.
Kave Rad.
Now, what I love about this league is we see some great former MLS players that are still at the height of their career.
There's Cerna down the line. McMahon, Cerna, settles. The shot ricochets wide. Mucha Galusa.
Absolute brilliant execution. The key for both teams is if fullbacks go forward, which they like, McHannon and Jimenez, you can get behind those fullbacks, and that's what happens with Cerna. What a good ball in, great defending, 1v1 in that slide tackle to give up a corner, or block tackle for that matter, Mike. Those are traits of center backs. Keep your number 9 on the score sheet. That's one way to do it, block shots.
Corner kicks presented by Single Point Solutions. In your corner with superior customer support. Single Point Solutions.
Stay there! Stay there! Well, just wait. I mean, you know, this is training ground stuff, set pieces, obviously. At this particular time, 5 guys go hard near post. You get a late runner going far post, just overhit. But it allows, again, Kansas City to press numbers forward and force mistakes.
Riley. Brought back by Cerna. Montpremier. Montpremier last year at Tulsa. Riley.
Yeah, he's a handful out wide.
This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Keep moving the ball. Keep moving it. Keep moving it.
Harris came from an offside position.
And going back to Montpellier, he's this bigger 6'1", 6'2", with really deceiving speed and a skill set that's very hard to mark. Out wide, that's where the battles are going to be today on both sides of the ball. And whoever wins those battles, Mike, opens up things centrally, and then you can have a Lancaster or a Harris make a difference in the game.
Lancaster with the hold-up play. Bone goes down, free kick, Louisville City.
Yeah, smart. I mean, anytime you want to stop a transition, that's the way to do it, obviously. Tactical fouling still part of this game.
Well done by McMahon.
There's maybe one point on Louisville is staying. You know what, John? I was just going to say that it is too predictable. And I wanted to go back to trust the process. Your DNA is building, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit more directness and switching the point of attack, because they build on one side and continue to stay on one side. And that's what John is just saying right now. It's too predictable, which means that Kansas City, even with their inexperience, are able to underload, overload areas where Louisville is trying to penetrate. And as defenders, you want to make play predictable of the opponent, so you got to give Kansas City thumbs up. I know there are fans in the stadium, but I've really experienced the last 2 months, Mike, that the game has become purer for me. I can now hear coaches giving instructions. I can hear players communicate or not. I kind of like it.
You saying no more fans?
Well, no. I'd rather see 80,000, Mike. You're right. No, don't get me wrong, but it's been. I can't cheat anymore. I used to be able to cheat because the crowd will tell me if there was a chance, yes or no. Now I have to actually pay attention with you. Oh my God, you used to bail me out.
Speedy Williams. Nice first touch by McMahon. Settles, delivers over the top. Lancaster punched away by Thompson. And now off on the run, Montpremier. Support racing down the line from Cerna wide. They've tipped the scale the other way. Mushagalusa. The penalty area, pushes it, Jimenez. Duke stepped in, stays with Kansas City. They played advantage, none left to give. Free kick.
Just excellent build-up, but even better goalkeeping by Brooks Thompson. He has to wait right now because he cannot gamble till he knows for sure Lancaster can't get a piece of this ball. That's where he comes. His height makes the difference again. Punches that away.
It's the third free kick.
That's part of the game too. Heckworth on the sideline. He's giving him a free kick. He's working the fourth official. Well done, John.
Ball floated, tipped toward Montpremier.
Those are tough balls. Left side, left footer, more of an in-swinger, which is hard to judge. Easier to attack for an attacker, harder to defend. And Louisville dealt well with that set piece.
You know, to go back to your point about hearing coaches and players more, one MLS announcer over the last week thought it was a good line. There are 3 languages on the field: English, Spanish, and expletive. It's been that way, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'm very fortunate. I do speak 5 languages, 4 fluent, 1 so-so. But you drop me off in Paris, I can say Montpremier very well. But that's a huge plus.
Is that your so-so language? French?
Yes, it is. My mom is German, so I speak fluent German, English, Dutch, and Spanish.
Learn new things about you every day, Thomas.
Thank you.
Masoso struggling there. 50-50 ball that was dangerous on both sides. Well, there's going to be a card here for Masoso's challenge.
Yeah, former Revolution player, born in Lesotho, by the way, which is an African country. I think both leave their feet, Mike. I don't think there's any real vicious intent of both. And here we can see it again. There's that 50-50. Oh, that's a tough one. I would say play on and no yellow card. I can see why Matoso is somewhat complaining, and it's an early card for a guy that's a good two-way player.
The yellow card is presented by World of Beer.
I hope there are more yellow cards, Mike, then.
Yeah, that's the kind of sponsor we're
we want.
Happy to promote, indeed. Playing barefoot until he was 12 years old, and at 15 years old he came to Louisville, went to St. Francis High School, and then eventually to the University of Kentucky.
That's very interesting. When you talk about Africa, you talk about South America, particularly Brazil, Argentina, where beach soccer, where players play without shoes for their formative years. All of a sudden, they're so much more skillful than other players.
Yeah.
And then Ecobias, the great Peruvian international, played with Fort Lauderdale. 4 World Cups he played in. And then he didn't want to wear socks because he said, Thomas, I have to feel the ball through my leather shoe. And I get it, because I was the opposite. I only could kick people.
Well, depending who you ask, he's either 9,000 miles from home, or he's created an entirely new one.
I'll go with the latter.
I think it's far more poetic that way.
Yes.
Out of the Estopinal end, Cerna. You can see the little bits of class that Cerna possesses.
That's brilliant. That's a tough ball from your goalkeeper. By the way, good distribution, obviously, by Brooke Thompson on the chest, bringing it down, calm under pressure, finding a center back, and coming out the other way. Very good football by Kansas City.
Jake Davis. Mushagalusa. Spent preseason with Colorado, former Rapids Academy player.
Now you can see why this team gave Indy 11 a scare.
Yeah.
They're well prepared. They move the ball well. They've given up not really any great looks and goal for Louisville.
I spoke with Bob Lilly. He's in a group with Hartford and then three 2 teams, Philadelphia, New York, and Loudoun, DC's affiliate. And he said, don't write off these teams.
Nope.
A lot of young talent coming up, and once the bubble is popped in Orlando and everyone goes back to their hometowns, you may get 5 or 6 MLS caliber players making a big impact in the final 8 to 10 games.
Huge, absolutely huge. Talent, stars are being born here on the USL, and with us right here, Mike. And we see some experienced players still playing at a very, very high level as well.
You had some overage kids over the years where it's if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Absolutely.
Well, in this case, U19 team not good enough. 5 academy players, former SKC Academy players, featuring in the starting 11 tonight. This blasted out, throw for Kansas City.
Yeah, and that's the right choice by Oscar Jimenez. Sharpie just gets caught a little bit, but Oscar Jimenez on the weak side tucks in a little bit and makes sure he clears that ball, similar to this side as well. There's moments you got to be tight to your center backs. There's moments you got to go out wide and face the 1v1 challenges as well. And in the modern game, fullbacks now are so important in the build-up and the defensive phase.
Leading wide, Montpremier. In on McMahon, off the cut, Montpremier. There's a little lag in the gate. Sean Tosh. Montpremier continues. Now Tosh has won the ball.
Very good defending by Tosh. Initially, he blocks the shot. He stays with it as well.
And now McCabe gets knocked down.
Yeah. As I said again, there's some great battles on both sides out wide right now. Center backs need to step to double, obviously. Talk about the principles of defending. cover support now becomes very important because all these teams have 4 wide players that can go 1v1. So you got to make sure you're helping out your teammates.
The world has changed a lot from fullbacks that didn't know what to do when they crossed half field.
Trent Alexander, the right fullback of Liverpool, is taking set pieces, you know. Ramos, the center back for Real Madrid, is scoring 11 goals in the year, including free kicks.
McMahon, McCabe. Williams plays the fulcrum. Menez got stuck in a bit, and in doing so commits a foul.
Yeah, he winds up to shoot, which, by the way, might be a better option right now for Louisville. In order for Louisville to unsettle this Kansas City back line, you need to get some crosses in. You need to get some shots from distance. So now you force those 2 center backs to step a little bit more. As John said, it is a little bit too predictable. And if your ball circulation, Mike, is low, what I mean by that, not with a high speed, it becomes easy for Kansas City to adjust.
Louisville into the final third. McMahon crossing Ownby. Steered that off the back of Rabin.
Much better. Start your build-up centrally, suck those fullbacks in, go out wide, and as I said again, get some crosses in, create discomfort for the back 4 and the goalkeeper. We just can't get in the end of that. Good defending, by the way, as well, by Rabin on that right side, just putting a body on Brian Ownby, who's not known, by the way, to be excellent or in the air.
Now is the perfect time to see how Commonwealth Credit Union is bettering lives in the community. When you become a member of our CCU family, you also become an owner. Commonwealth Credit Union, we see you differently. Ownby out of midfield, he's created the space. Turns now wide of Cerna, and a poor cross at the end. But Brian Ownby creating with his lateral movement.
Very good, Mike. You know, I think that's one of the things that John Hackworth, too predictable, which means your wide players play out to in sometimes, come inside, play make from there, because Ownby can do that, and you give a team a different look. And Ownby, this time, not going out wide, but coming inside and creating some problems off the dribble, which he's excellent at. Just that final pass again, good layoff. Just couldn't find the 2 or 3 runners in the box.
Thompson screaming to get everybody's attention. It's about 5,000 here, most of them the honorary owners, season ticket holders over the course of this pandemic. And Louisville City, as well as soon-to-be Proof Louisville, rather Racing Louisville, as they've branded appropriately. Just a week and a half ago, have 2,000 season ticket deposits already. Incredible. Long ball floated. Lancaster brings it down, and it skitters wide of him.
And we talked about the commitment of this ownership group and the commitment of John Hackworth to put a good product in the field, which they've done. Unfortunately, I think these first 27 minutes tell us a little bit about, yes, we've gotten better defensively. Yes, we're able to get the ball in that middle third, but that final third right now, and that's why maybe you see that one change out wide that he's made, McCabe coming in, but the fluency of that front 4 that we've seen for so many years just isn't there.
Oh, this is an excellent give-off. Masoso and Williams combining. Masoso in it again. And it's given away to Ownby. Ownby slides through in the recovery by Kave Rad. It'll be a corner.
Yeah, you talked about recovery because there was a mistake being made there. Ownby's getting a little step on him, but I must say, Rad, for a big center back, makes up that 5 yards real quick, tackles that ball into a corner, and now we reorganize again. Good defending, but Ownby showing his class in the last few minutes.
Rad, a Railhawks Academy player. That's the former North Carolina FC name. Corner here, Louisville. This time they go long, and the header skies wide. Got Sharpie forward.
These are great opportunities. I mean, you look at the modern game, you look at some of the biggest teams. Some of the biggest teams live off set pieces. Huge if you can execute well, and huge if you can defend well against set pieces, be it corners, be it free kicks.
American football, they so often say offense, defense, special teams, 3 equal phases of the game.
Yeah.
So often in this league, I hear offense, defense, transition, defense, set pieces.
Yeah, it's too complicated for me. That's why I'm not coaching anymore. I would go
so good
offense,
at it.
defense, and set pieces as well. But yes, there's such a thing as defensive and offensive transition, and that's where Louisville has been hurt in their first 2 games back. Defensive transition of their own mistakes has been poor. And then your reorganization, I call that. If you're not involved anymore, Mike, when the ball's upfield, you can't fall asleep. And that is what's happened with this team. The 20, 30, 40 yards away from the ball, people are not tight enough on their players and allow people to turn in critical areas.
Lancaster, after all that hard work by Corbin Bone, takes the ball for Louisville. John Hackworth described it to us. I could either be stubborn or stupid, or eventually we can get this right. But he is intent on this is not a miniature baseball field anymore. This is a full-size, perfectly manicured pitch, and we're going to play this the right way.
And they are playing the right way. But the right way, at the end of the day, means for anybody involved, in particular higher up, is winning games. And all of a sudden, it's funny how it works, Mike. I've been in this business. You go from, I love the way we play, our team play, to we haven't gotten any results. Can we play any different? And that's the dilemma for John right now. And I know he stays true to his word. And we love the addition of this team, obviously, because they play great brand of football.
Harris, drop deep, and eventually this finds Duke. Duke through the penalty area. He slides in. Harris! That wasn't going to count. Slide in there to keep the ball by Duke. That's the foul.
Just finding little seams right there. And again, Duke is so smart. He's shown that obviously a few years back. He returned again. He can drive at people, can play combination play. Again, good defending in the end. And a free kick.
Well, 2 pieces of business to attend to here. There was a yellow card presented by World of Beer. Goes to Christian Duke as public address announcer reminds us on that slide in. We've also reached a hydration break, which you're calling a tactical break.
Yes, this is a unique opportunity, never seen before in soccer, with a few occasions maybe, that you have a opportunity in both halves, Mike, to make some adjustments. And adjustments meaning being able to reach all your players, which is not easy, even with limited fans, to get to your left fullback or your left winger. But now you get the whole group together. As you can see right there, both teams very intent. And John now can talk about some of the things that you talked about, Mike. Can we come inside on B a little bit? Can we play closer of Lancaster? Let Oscar Jimenez just take that lane for a while. Give them a different look. Play maybe with 2 a little bit tighter up top. And Nagamura saying, you know what? Do what we have done well, guys. Your discipline has been great. These are the games we're facing on the road right now. Stick together, stay compact, and see, which they've done, if we can get something on the counter.
Let's take a look at how we've gotten here. We're in the 33rd minute now in a hydration break. Louisville, some chances in the early going.
Yeah, early going. I mean, you get the fullbacks involved again, putting good balls in. Lancaster just can't get to that one, and Brooks Thompson just gobbles that one on. Ombi again, up in the air as well. We've seen balls out wide and floated into the box and trying to make that back 4 uncomfortable, but that final touch just isn't there. And Lancaster says, yeah, thank you, but he should have done better.
Speedy Williams trying to force this ball away. He and Masoso combined nicely, and off this mistake by Rad, he had to get there. That could be in from Ombi.
Yes.
Off the ensuing corner, ball knocked over by Sharpie. So in the 34th minute of a scoreless game, I also spoke with Dr. George Champus, who's the chief medical officer for U.S. Soccer, and someone both you and John Hackworth worked with within the youth national team setup. And he expressed a little frustration. Sometimes you're watching the Bundesliga or the English Premier League, and Everyone's asking, why are they going to get water? You know, it's not 90 degrees every time they have one of these breaks. Today it is. But it's that everyone needs their own individual bottle of water. There are protocols to follow, and the league has a 50-page book of protocols that these two teams are intent on following in this game and in how they both handle pregame, travel, and postgame to make sure everyone stays safe.
Pretty amazing, Mike, what the pandemic has done to our normal lives and also football life, sports life, so to speak. And that's one of the reasons that you're explaining right now that not too many people know right now. That's the reason why, absolutely.
I went to him, I said, I had no idea.
Me either, till you told me that today, actually, which is, now it makes sense. Because initially I went, you know what, this is a men's game. I'm a traditionalist, but I totally get it, absolutely. Just from social distancing with the fans to making sure the players don't share water bottles.
Usually you just, you know, set piece, you go over to the goalkeeper's water bottle.
Absolutely. Put your mouth on it even. In the old days, Carlos Valderrama, give it to me, Carlos. Yeah, no problem. We didn't even give it in second thought, and there was no need for it, Mike. And these are just unprecedented times and unprecedented measures from that standpoint, too. But thanks for explaining that.
No question. Leading the line, Harris came from an offside position. I think you said it was a dozen in the last 14 that he's bagged goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilson Harris, it's a 19-year-old kid hungry for that next level. He had committed to play for the University of Louisville. He's too good. Kansas City's not letting him go. Louisville into the final third here. Is there something? And again, it leaks by Lancaster.
He hasn't been involved a lot because they've defended, but there's something about this player, similar to Lancaster, but he's older. But this younger Wilson Harris has a special quality. He's lanky, he's skillful, he's deceiving almost as a 9. He can play a little bit underneath, and he's very good when he gets opportunities. He puts them away.
There's a tug there, and Jimenez is arguing the point.
And just like Peter Vermees, there he is. Peter Vermees likes their number 9s. As I said again, that's the first line of defense is your number 9. And this kid doesn't mind to go there, gegenpress or the early press, as Jurgen Klopp calls it, gegenpressing right now. You can get a player, number 9, to do all the little things right, also in the defensive end. That's huge.
Told me you speak fluent German. Is that actual German or is that an off-brand version?
No, my mom is German. Ich spreche Deutsch. Meine Mutter ist von Hamburg. Ich bin Thomas. Richtig. Wiedersehen. Tschüss. My mom is German, so that's where I spend a lot of summers with my grandparents.
How bad do you feel for the people in closed captioning tonight trying to figure that out? Thought this telecast was in English. Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville.
They'll figure it out. It said some really nice things about you, Mike.
I'm going to have to take your word for it.
And by the way, talk about fun. This has been a great game, by the way. I know it's zeros, but two teams totally committed to playing the right way of football. Both teams just, in their game, shown that in that final third, they're just lacking a little bit right now. Surging for that explosion that Kansas City had last year. You called that game, I think. They were up 3-0 Kansas City, and Louisville scored 8 on them. John Hackworth needs a breakout game.
Into the wide area again. McCabe over Lancaster and steered away by Rad.
McCabe is just on that right side. That's the change, the one change he's made from the front 4. Some good crosses in there. Just cannot connect with Lancaster again.
He and McMahon both have gotten forward and floated some pretty good crosses.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a little more direct.
Long throw in from Cerna, Montpremier. Dylan Cerna now, 26 years old, looking to get his career back on track. Could very easily find himself playing for Sporting Kansas City, given his experience with the Rapids over the years. Came available and came into SKC2.
Yep.
And they talked about it. We spoke with Paulo Nagamura in the lead up to this game. He said, we've got a little more experience on the defense. They tried to close down a lot of the gaps last year. Davis got it ahead. It's launched at Lunt by Musha Galusa.
Yeah, that midfield of Duke, Riley, and Davis. Riley, the 2019 Super Draft pick for them as well. They're still pretty high on him. The 2 players out wide that are very good 1v1.
Block of 4 defenders dropping in as McCabe trots forward.
Yeah, Lancaster's the one that actually dropped into midfield to start the attack. So when McCabe looks up, Lancaster is not in a position where you can serve him, so he's going to hold up play a little bit. You'd like to see Onby maybe making a hard run from that weak side centrally to give McCabe maybe that option. And you get a little more of an honesty out of McCabe, but you probably have a better option off the bench with Hoppenot, who doesn't start today for John Hagworth. 5 substitutions are huge nowadays. And you called the game the other day that went down to the wire. 90, when was the winner scored?
90 plus 6.
Correct. And substitutes throughout the world, when they've restarted games, have made huge differences for teams, both from a defensive standpoint, because you can insert fresh legs when you're up, Mike, and keep the game hectic, or you can insert a Hoppenot to make a difference for you in the last 20 minutes or 30 minutes of a game.
And the irony in that game is that Rivera was the player who came off for Pittsburgh, who had been man-marking Tyler Pasher.
Interesting.
And with that sub, it kind of backfired a little bit. Pasher had a completely unimpeded run downfield, slashed by, and then scored a 25-yard banger into the upper corner. Bone knocks it down. Lancaster. McCabe. Numbers pile forward. It does allow you to make tinkering tactical adjustments earlier if you choose, without really handicapping yourself later.
Yes.
Do you wish you had 5 subs back in the day?
No.
No? You were fine with 3?
Yes. I understand it too, why it's done. These teams have hardly a preseason under their belt, no friendly games. So these games become your friendly games in preseason, so to speak, Mike. It's just, it's tough. So I understand that they're not fit enough, they're not really sharp. Playing 3 games a week, yeah, you need 5 subs.
McCabe in front, past Lancaster, past Ownby as well. Rabin slides in, Ownby, Rabin, Masoso. Williams, Lancaster, Bone, Lancaster with a drive. Skims back to Speedy Williams once more.
Good sustained pressure and possession there by Louisville.
Turned over brutally by Thompson. Ownby keeps, delivers, slid away. And Montpremier can't keep it in. Throw.
Yeah, well, Brooks Thompson almost get punished for that one there. And he says, my fault, sorry. That one needs to be cleared in row Z under pressure. And that's the tough for goalkeepers now, because most coaches want the goalkeepers to play from the back like a field player. But there's also times to say, you know what? No. Nothing wrong with Route 1.
Here comes Harris. This is Route 1. Tosh pushing at him. Harris goes down. That's a clean play.
Tosh has been brilliant in his 1v1 defending against a very good forward as Harris. Able to get goal side, winning balls clean without fouling, Mike, is a huge advantage for a center back if you can do that consistently. If it was me in the old days, it would have been a yellow card and a foul, because I would have been too afraid to step in a 1v1 situation because of the ability of Harris. Well done, Tosh.
Ownby. Rabin backing down. Ownby crossing.
Not the only thing, but if you look, they go out wide well, but you only look at 1, sometimes 2 targets there. Where's Corbin Bone? He needs to get in the box. Where's even Williams? You need to get in the box. And your wide midfielder as well. At times when the balls are floating in, it's either Lancaster, Ownby, or McCabe. One of those midfielders, preferably 2, need to get in there. 1 can sit, Mike.
Williams. McMahon. The overlap from the midfielder. McCabe. And swerving one toward Lancaster. McCabe rises up to keep it over Montpremier. Louisville trying to grab a goal here before halftime. Kansas City in their history have trailed at halftime and come back to win only once.
That's a great stat.
You think about this Swope Park Rangers team, as it used to be called, 2 USL Championship finals. They're no slouch. McMahon.
And coached by whom?
Nikola Popovic back in the day, Mark Dos Santos.
There you go.
I mean, just some of the most
great characters.
Yeah, absolutely. You love to spend time with them. Half an hour feels like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Mark Dos Santos going, his father's a magician, and you can see it in how he plays. Very interesting, colorful analysis.
Yeah, great characters, yeah.
Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look back at the first half, highlights and stats, and we'll show you the very best of the week that was in the USL Championship. The restart fully underway. Ownby slides by Davis, got the cross through over Lancaster.
Yeah, Rad again. Rad is just similar to Tosh on the other side. Is defended very, very well. And it's interesting. You come up with that stat, Mike. Being down at half and only coming back once. I'm sure that Paulo Nagamura has talked to his team about it. They're so conscious of not conceding right now, knowing probably that it will be a tall order for them to get back in the game. Saying that, they're giving them a foolish foul right now, which could be a good opportunity for the big boys up front and the center backs to go forward.
We're into stoppage time, which is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Rats have added 3 additional minutes.
Two players around the ball, lefty and a righty. It all depends on, again, what you see. 2-man wall that needs to protect the near post. Everybody else defending 1v1 and 2 guys zonally, Mike. Good posture.
McCabe. Oh, it was all a ruse.
Yes, it was.
To Jimenez. Got up and hit Jimenez in the face from Duke. Mushagalusa. I thought there was a real problem there. That wasn't very like Niall McCabe.
That's practice field stuff. And I'm telling you, this young, inexperienced team, I shouldn't say inexperienced, young team of Kansas City, not falling for some of these experienced little tricks that Louisville saw. There you see Paulo Nagamura not happy with that pass right there. Very demanding on himself as a player. Great player in MLS, obviously. Both coaches very much involved in this game. I love that.
You didn't cross paths with him at Chivas USA, did you?
No, I did not actually. No, I'd been fired in already after 10 games. It was and I hired Bob Bradley actually because I became the sporting director for the next 2 years. So I said, okay, you don't want to go Mexican? And he called, no, we want to win game. I said, well, you got to hire Bob Bradley. And I did. Well, here comes Jesse Marsh and Paulo Nagamura.
Turns out he can win games in LA. It's just not for Chivas.
Yeah, true.
McCabe the foul.
It's been a very clean game as well. And again, it's a well-played game with limited great chances, but that happens when 2 good teams go at each other. When 2 teams also understand where they're at right now, that a win is huge. Probably bigger for Louisville than it is for Kansas City, but I'm telling you, both coaches want to get 3 points here. And you got that back-to-back. They're playing each other again on Wednesday, so there's this cat-and-mouse tactically, too, that will develop.
Asked John Hackworth if you could afford to have an ace in the hole. He said, we've probably lost our ability to play that. There's room out here to work with. They've moved Montpremier off to that side. Montpremier has created the space for Dino. Now Cerna, and that's the halftime whistle. Well, Paulo Nagamura can't be happy about that.
No, he's not. But 90 is 90, or 94 is 94. It doesn't matter anymore. The laws don't say when the ball's traveling towards goal, you got to swallow your whistle. So, hey, end of it. 0-0, well-played game between two very good teams.
Next up, the Passport Health Plan halftime report. Louisville and Sporting KC2 on level terms at the break at almost precisely 48 minutes. We'll show you highlights, stats, and more when we return.
People are getting back out there, and your Toyota dealers say, welcome back, America, with low APR financing and great leases on Camry, the #1 selling car in America 18 years in a row. And now you can get a Camry with $2,000 customer cash off your best deal. That's $2,000 off any new Camry, including Camry Hybrid, Camry All-Wheel Drive, and Camry TRD. Don't miss your chance to get $2,000 off your best Camry deal at your Toyota dealer. Today, tomorrow, Toyota.
After being cooped up all spring, it's time to get outside and enjoy the summer of now. With amazing rates, Adventure Loans from Commonwealth Credit Union let you hit the road, or no road at all, with UTVs, ATVs, and motorcycles, and our recreational loans for boats, motorhomes, and campers. This year, make the most of every day and stay cool for the summer with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Everyone has a voice.
No justice, no peace.
What do you want to say?
I want to thank WDRB for being the only news station out here covering the truth.
When we say we do it for the city, we don't just mean this team.
We mean everyone. The players, the fans, the community, everybody in Louisville.
So no matter where you're watching the match, let's go win this for the city.
We are two-time league champions, and we're hungry for another one.
Watch Louisville City FC take on Sporting Kansas City 2, Wednesday at 8 on My 58, presented by Commonwealth Credit Union.
It's Louisville City and Sporting KC2 playing back-to-back games at Lynn Family Stadium in beautiful Louisville. Welcome to the Passport Health Plan halftime report. Let's take a look at the best of the USL Championship of a week ago. Cervania, great save, Howard. He puts it straight down. Dean continues, and this chippily in. Birmingham lead. The teams and the players trying to use their platform. Rolled through. He's on. He is absolutely on. Lapa scores. Give him 2. Give the Legion 3.
For your side. Birmingham Legion on the front foot once again as they come charging forward. Bruno Labrit takes the deflection, and Birmingham Legion make it 2.
And just a little heavy off the toe of Billy. Assists over the top for Sonny. Guadarrama from 18, there's your answer. What a Sonny G, unimpressed.
Liver the corner, dipping. This will fall and get smacked. Great save, Fury lifting it over.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Once a community's long-term player development pathway is established, USL clubs must clearly define their talent identification strategy in collaboration with their youth network. Establishing this strategy provides local clubs and coaches the opportunity to recommend top young prospects towards the USL Academy level and eventually their local USL senior team. As players are identified, the USL Academy League is designed to provide young players the opportunity to transition from youth soccer to playing at the senior level in 3 different ways. Players most ready to make the jump to the USL Championship, League 1 and League 2 can begin their integration into a senior team by taking a part-time senior status, allowing them to train and even play at the senior level while still getting additional training and games within the USL Academy League. Top young players projected to be ready for their first integration into senior team soccer within 1 to 2 years will be encouraged to register as the full-time academy status. Players with a longer-term projection towards the USL senior team will have the flexibility to continue primarily being a part of their youth team through the part-time youth status. This will also encourage further collaboration between the youth network and the USL senior team, as coaches from both levels can work together to determine the right time to move players through that established pathway. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Scoreless between Louisville City and Sporting KC2 on the Passport Health Plan halftime report. Let's take a look around the USL Championship. Pittsburgh saw a 25-game home unbeaten streak snapped on Wednesday by Indy. Louisville coach John Hackworth told us the first time he's ever rooted for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh. It means Indy is at top Group B. You saw those goals by Bruno Lapa. Those are good, but Tim Howard, come on, man.
Ooh, I talked to both Tims because Tim Mulqueen was my assistant coach in the 20s for many years, and Tim I've known too through the national team programs. I'm going, what are you guys doing? And then when TR, we love the game. We're passionate about it. I want to play as long as possible. Well, here you go, Tim Howard. Enjoy.
Well, India 11 is the top Group B with that 4-0-0 record as well. Something to keep in mind. Won their last 6 regular season matches, and there they are at top of Group B. With the USL Championship format switching, 16 games, 13 weeks, 8 groups, top 2 get through. This is going to get real dicey in a hurry.
Yeah, it will get real dicey in a hurry, but I still think at the end of the day, the quality and the depth of teams, because now with all these games back-to-back, Mike, you need to get into 16, 17, 18 on your roster. What teams are deep enough to sustain that? I think Louisville will make a run sooner or later. They'll like to start it today.
And what's more, Indy plays St. Louis tomorrow on ESPN Plus at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Something to keep in mind. You've been watching the Passport Health Plan halftime report. Scoreless here. Take a look back at the first half after this.
People are getting back out there, and your Toyota dealers say, welcome back, America, with low APR financing and great leases on Camry, the #1 selling car in America 18 years in a row. And now you can get a Camry with $2,000 customer cash off your best deal. That's $2,000 off any new Camry, including Camry Hybrid, Camry All-Wheel Drive, and Camry TRD. Don't miss your chance to get $2,000 off your best Camry deal at your Toyota dealer. Today, tomorrow, Toyota.
She's been in speech therapy since she was 3, and they couldn't diagnose what was wrong with her. We went to a specialist, and she has some processing problems. The COSER Kids program help us with pretty much everything. The hearing aids and the FM system, she improved like almost 50%. Once you apply the system is really easy. You go online and put all the information. Now I know that she can. I know that she's destined to do great things. COSER Charities has given my daughter the opportunity to reach her full potential on everything.
To apply for assistance or to support the COSER Kids program, go to coser.org/kids.
For the fans who started painting 3 hours before the game. For the fans who celebrate with high fives. For the huggers. The chest bumpers. And this guy. For fans like you who do things your way, there's Park Community Credit Union. Your city, your team, your way.
Welcome back to the Passport Health Plan halftime report. 0-0 between Louisville and Sporting KC2. Let's take a look at first half highlights from this affair as those eyelashes brighten up the field overhead, the sun going down. Early days. Cerna getting some good service in. Difficult one here.
Yeah, it absolutely is important for fullbacks to get forward. We've seen it consistently during the game. Cerna trying to hook up with Mushakalusa on that wide side, just can't finish.
Louisville, a ton of service peppered, especially from this right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. McCabe has done a great job there, but even their fullback, McLennan, goes forward, just can't connect with Lancaster. That's happened a few times right now. Again, that same combination, looking for Brian Onby on the weak side, but good defending by Rat eventually.
And a little interchange in the middle of the field. There were a couple errors on clearances from Kansas City that opened the door to Louisville, but they didn't break it down.
No, they did not break it down. And as I said again, that back four with Brooke Thompson in goal has just bent a little bit, but never breaking, still zeros.
Let's take a look at our Commonwealth Credit Union halftime stats. Commonwealth Credit Union, we see you differently. Not a lot on target. There's your problem.
Yeah, there is a problem. If you look at the average positions over 45 minutes now, we knew that over 90. There's a little bit of a disproportion of midfielders not joining in with that front three of Louisville. That might be the problem for them in order to get shots on goal, because right now, nothing on target.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule around the USL Championship. It's brought to you by COSAIR Charities, enhancing the health and well-being of children since 1923. Rumors about ATL UTD's coach Stephen Glass as Frank DeBoer let go by ATL UTD after the MLS's back tournament. St. Louis Indy, that one game can make such a big impact in the group.
Yeah, huge game for both teams, more so from St. Louis. Right, that group could go upside and down depending obviously on the result today by Louisville. The 3 points will put some pressure.
And Indy will take on Hartford at home as well. So all of a sudden, the games in hand situation is going to get quite different as we move forward. A game tomorrow, St. Louis Indy will also be on ESPN Deportes for our Spanish-speaking viewers, as well as on ESPN Plus. And here's a look. I mean, this is the dream right here for USL Championship teams to eventually put up a venue like this.
It certainly is. I mean, how far has soccer come? When I first came here, Mike, in 1979, we played in strictly football stadiums. Now you got in the USL specific soccer stadiums, people making investments in the game, bringing in good coaches and great players.
There's your upcoming schedule, and all 5 of those games are going to be in this magnificent venue. SKC2 3 times in 3 weeks, all at home. John Hackworth told me leading into this homestand, it's 8 games in total, so those are the last 5 of this homestand. Ultimately, if we don't take advantage, that's on us. Here's what's coming up for Sporting KC2. That's Murderer's Row. That's really bad.
Correct. One of the points you made, Mike, was Road Warriors. And then the first half, Paulo Nagamuro's team has shown that they have the mettle as a young team to go on the road. But that's only 45 minutes. I think the quality of Louisville will shine in the second half. The adjustments by John Hackworth will be interesting to see, and then substitutions for both teams could make the difference on the positive or a negative end. Don't take off a player that kills Tyler Pasher and then ends up being the game-winning goal scorer.
Well, the 5,000 fans in attendance right now are applauding the healthcare heroes around the country who have responded in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, an ongoing initiative by the USL Championship's 35 clubs. And with that, we're underway in the second half. Louisville City FC, Sporting Kansas City 2. And an early turnover high up the field from SKC2, and Lancaster goes in for the ball and got a big piece of Christian Duke, who spent the last few years in Orange County and had a freak injury that really derailed, ultimately, Orange County's entire 2019 season. Such a critical midfield general for Sporting Kansas City's USL side. Jimenez.
First half proved to be really tough to break down. Yes, the initial starting position for both teams is a 4-3-3, but when they drop in their own half, Kansas City, it's a 4-5-1, and it'd be very tough to break down. What are the answers in the second half?
McMahon, and again the service a bit scattershot. Everything up to that last ball in has been pretty much on point tonight.
Yes, and Mike, again, we're talking about that final pass. Omby making that hard run right now near post past Lancaster, and McCabe goes far post where Omby used to be. So a little lack of communication, or get your head up, take that picture, that snapshot. Know where Omby is on the weak side. So said again, if Omby can get a little bit closer, or the weak side wide player to Lancaster, it causes more problems for Kansas City.
Riley gave it away. Off the turn, Niall McCabe. McCabe crossing, stab down Lancaster. Oh, a little bit of danger out of that. It was Peter Kuic in the back, the Croatian on loan from Zagreb 2.
Yeah, Riley loses the ball in midfield, gets pounced upon. McCabe gets the ball, keeps it alive as well, looks at his options, turns the corner, is able to get a ball in, but again, good defending right there by Kuic. Goes for a corner.
He and Dominic Resetar are both on loan together from Zagreb 2 in Croatia. This ball played. Lancaster, goodness me, it's wide. That would have been a simply phenomenal way to knock the lid off this place.
It shows the repertoire of Lancaster. He can play with his back to goal. He's athletic. He can strike balls from distance. He's good in the air, but that's just a very hard skill. Back to goal, needs to keep the ball in tight, just can't get it on target.
Most fans in Louisville have become quite familiar with Cameron Lancaster. Tore his ACL back in 2015, watched Matt Fondy win the Golden Boot, set the goal record in the USL Championship last year in Nashville, curling effort off target. The year before that, 25 goals against North Carolina. The last one, John Ackworth said he watched over and over again. He would have watched this for years.
And there's Lancaster again. He's almost playing pumping the ball up to himself and going with a half volley bicycle kick. Very hard skill to master. He does it brilliantly, just goes wide.
Once upon a time, he trialed at Louisville, actually flew home afterwards.
Really?
Eventually did come back. If it hadn't been for some knee injuries, some hamstring injuries, it just seems a toe injury as well. Always hamstrung his career. Did play in a Premier League game for Tottenham, never got back.
Listen, you come through any kind of academy of the top 6 in England, be it Tottenham in this case, you can play, you have talent. Staying injury-free, Mike, is huge for any player in any sport. Didn't happen for Lancaster. Shows you get his quality right there, keeping that ball tight in space, keeping possession, dropping into midfield to help at times.
And he's still fairly young, in his mid to late 20s now, 26 years old. McMahon. Slices, reverts, McCabe. Lancaster scores! There's the breakthrough moment for Louisville City. And of course, it's Cameron Lancaster.
Absolute brilliant execution. A combination play on that right side that gets McCabe again in that good position. Another cross. And you know what? The hard run by Brian Omby. The fading run by Lancaster. There you see Corbin Bone starts this. Mazzoso out wide to the overlapping right fullback. First time cross in. And there's Omby near post. That gives that little opening for Lancaster to go, thanks for coming, and knocks that one home. And just what the doctor ordered, Mike, early second half goal.
That goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. The Kentucky Lottery, his second of the year. Scored the opener against North Carolina back in March. And now he scores again, and Louisville is on the front foot here with 40 minutes to play, trying to snap what is an exceedingly rare two-game home losing streak.
He must have listened to us, Mike.
He sure did.
We gave him some love, and there he is. He goes, all right, I'll reward Mike and TR.
Ownby, look at this, Ownby! Through the smoke. Looks like a Scooby-Doo mystery whether that had gone in or not, but indeed wide.
This is a changed team, without a doubt. And again, we alluded to it, Mikey. Yes, Mike Ownby, come inside sometimes on that favorite right foot. Draw people in, strike from distance, or open something else up. What a good start of the second half of both wide players. Corbin Bone a little bit more involved, and then your lethal striker. Scoring how many, Mike, now in the games he's played?
That's 43 goals in the USL Championship.
That's pretty darn good.
And 43 in Louisville, all competitions coming into this game. That's his 44th if you include the Open Cup and the playoffs. Ownby, what a win high up the field. Ownby off the back heel, setting this up. Great save, Thompson, to deny Masoso. Oh, there's blood in the water.
There certainly is. And knowing John and his passion, he laid into this team because they were a little passive. It was the speed of play was not there. Now there's more aggression in play going forward. And Kansas City just couldn't answer the bell right now and just needs to weather the storm because Brooke Thompson comes up with a great save, Mike, to keep it at 1-0.
Louisville again picking this off, and in the end, Duke takes over. Cerna. Clip through, there's Jimenez. He allows Lund to get it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a, I mean, Lund is calling for it, and I can tell right now that Jimenez is going, you sure you're there? And he lets it go eventually. And we're talking again about good communication could make or break you.
This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. How many times have you flown through there?
Since I'm a big fan of Muhammad Ali, I go at least twice a week, Mike.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a great airport.
Yeah, okay.
And I sincerely appreciate their sponsors.
Yeah, I've been through there a few times.
I know, yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
Oh, look at this, Montpremier, please. Montpremier trying to force his way through. Duke slides it aside. Musha Galusa. McMahon half-stepping backwards, flicked forward. Will it fall for Davis? Ownby rises up. Riley.
And somebody's down there holding his head. Mike played up a lot of bounds.
That's Jake Davis. He went up for that header with Brian Ownby. He's arguing there's an elbow in this challenge.
Montpremier and Musha Galusha are a handful out wide throughout this game. Look at the battle right here again, getting through traffic. Oops, opening up his body. Great run, but also good defending in the end. But TT out wide.
There was a little Johnny Russell in that move, huh?
Yes, there was a Johnny Russell in that move. Dipping his shoulder, going the other way. Dipping his shoulder, coming the other way as well.
Hello, do you stop now? Hello? Stop, please. Stop.
You're going to let the sub in. Here they are. Jarrett Townsend will replace Montpremier. Sub is brought to you by MHS Global. See what Jarrett Townsend can bring. Played for Sporting Kansas City 2's assistant coach, Chris Martinez. I suppose it's Real Colorado, the academy side.
And both Oscar Jimenez and McMahon are going right now. Oh no. That was a handful for 55 minutes and fresh legs. You're absolutely right. That's always tough, and one of the luxuries that you can go to your bench very early right now, which Nagamura is doing, and he's making that first move tactically right now. Interesting to see what Hackworth, how they will respond.
Good ball up for Harris. We've mentioned it a couple times in the telecast. He's scoring just shy of a goal a game in his last 14 going to the back end of last year. 12 and 14. Straight down the line, Brian Ownby. Great ball ahead by Jimenez. Ownby lofting, Lancaster is there.
And just can't connect. Corbin Bowen finally making that run into the box as well. Ownby going with that early far post ball to Lancaster. The better option would have been to find a trailer, maybe going to goal. Very daring, out of bounds.
Out of pressure, Harris stepped in, there's McMahon.
And the big dilemma for Paulo Manganura, how do I get Wilson Harris more on the ball right now? Because the wide players have been very individualistic, and I think that's the reason why, although Montpellier has looked pretty good, he doesn't look to combine with anybody else. It's a little bit of an isolation, so I think this change will make a difference.
Townsend continued to pursue. Injured player back behind the play. Duke. Townsend, cutback ball. Harris comes to Duke. Off the turn, Mushagalusa flicks ahead. Harris wide, but he was offside.
And that's a shade of what Nagamura wanted to see from Townsend. No dribble penetration, one touch, good cross. And Sharpie down with an injury. It almost appears that he has a problem with his hamstring, his left hamstring.
He's pointing at the top of that hamstring on
yes.
On,
and not because of the tackle, because there was not much in the tackle, Mike, for the exception now that you have to stretch a little bit to get away from a tackle, and that is a pulled hamstring. As soon as somebody grabs to the back of that leg, Mike, you know it. I've been there and done that. It's not a pleasant feeling. It's a hard recovery. And Sharpie's been brilliant. Sharpie's been good for this team, obviously. Big decision right now for John Hackworth, how to replace one of your center backs. That's such an important piece, and has kept Wilson Harris at bay.
Sharpie slow to get off here. Jimmy Ockford will replace him. Sharpie last year in Memphis, time under Preki in St. Louis. So Sharpie is done. Substitution brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Jimmy Ockford comes on. Last year in Nashville, started 16 games. They call him a silent warrior. Went to Mount St. Mary's, 3 years there as a forward. The program got slashed. Then came to the University of Louisville for his senior year, was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Very much like for like. Both Sharpie and Oakford have the same similarities, same body style. They're tough, they're hard, they're reliable, they're good in the tackle, and good leaders, which you need. The two center backs have to communicate and guide guys in front of you, both in the attacking and the defensive end. Huge responsibility for Oakford right now to come in this game at 1-0 up and try to keep the 0.
Now that's the first of 5 changes for Louisville, but it's the first of 3 windows in which they can make those changes. So they do want to use all 5.
Yep. You've seen a lot of teams doing a triple substitution in one, you know.
Is it Man United who did 5 at once?
Exactly. Good luck being the play-by-play guy for that game. Although the names are a little bit more familiar, I'm sure.
I think you and I would be willing to take that trade.
Yes.
It's a lot of sticker changing for poor Arlo White. It's rad here. Joined the Kansas City Academy back in 2016. Native of Durham, North Carolina. Swept aside by Kuich. Down the line, Mushagalusa. Growing into this game. Firing that toward Harris. Wilson Harris has a lot of those trademarks of a Peter Vermees 9. You absolutely see it.
Good point, Mike. Yep.
JT! Go, JT!
Turn by Townsend. There's Harris. Harris delivers wide.
But what a good first touch. He gets even his head up under duress. He knows he wants to go far post, just can't disconnect. And by the way, Townsend has been a huge difference already on 2 occasions. And we said the difference here is that Townsend will find Wilson Harris that almost scores a goal a game, Mike. Good move by Kansas City, although this favors Louisville in the end. When Kansas City now really has to throw numbers forward, and that great speed up front for Louisville might be able to get something on the counter.
JT open. Stay open.
The electric Brian Ownby. Now McCabe, a bit craftier. They do have Holpino, as you mentioned, off the bench, who can really fly.
Yep.
JT! Go, JT!
They've unleashed Townsend, and he is onside. One-on-one with Lunt. Townsend pushed aside Lunt. First try on goal for Kansas City. They've given it away high up the field, playing on Riley. Flicks ahead. Mushagalusa. He's broken through now, and again, Lunt this time slides out with his feet.
Very good goalkeeper by Lund twice, staying up big in the first time. Maybe not the greatest finish by Townsend. He gets in 1v1, brilliant. And then he comes with the foot save at the near post. Back to back saves here. Townsend is off. He's got his head up, can't connect. Lund stays big, and then again shovels over to the near post, Mike. And then boom, gets that leg save. That's what good goalkeepers do. They can single-handedly win games for you, keep you in games, keep you at a 1-0 scoreline, which it is right now. But a good response by Kansas City after going down 1-0, in particular with Townsend and Wilson Harris coming to life.
Ben Lunt played at Akron alongside John Hackworth's son, Morgan. It was actually a game in Kansas City, just a poor rainy night where he had floating chips in his ankle that caused his ankle to lock up. It hadn't happened before. They dealt with so many injuries in the goalkeeping position. And in the end, he wasn't able to play. Brian Holt did. And Kansas City handily won that game.
That's a great story. Nice background on
Go, Sammy! Go, Sammy!
Townsend. Oh, Harris wanted that, and Ownby read it first.
That's a 30-year-old versus a 18-year-old. Boom. Welcome to the USL, baby. It's a men's game. Well done, Brian Ownby.
Masoso found McCabe. Williams, Bone. There's Riley. Well, they still like Camden Riley, 3rd-round pick, rather 2nd-round pick in 2019 out of Pacific.
And the key for John right now is to stay aggressive, stay on the front foot, play for 2-0, Mike. Don't sit on this lead too early. Be patient with the ball without a doubt, but still take your opportunities. For Kansas City it is, can we press a little bit earlier? Can we force turnovers? That Louisville has shown in the past games where we can maybe hurt them as well. This will become a very interesting chess match right now between both teams and some individual matchups. Thompson right now against Cerna having the better, Townsend versus Oscar Jimenez right now is something that John Hackworth needs to look at.
Jimenez, good interchange with Olmby.
That's a great ball in. Playing through lines, forward vertical, which always is with risk. When you bypass normally, hit 3 or 4, 5 players if you can. Switching the point of attack. Very impressed. Very impressed with Kansas City.
Wide area, Townsend.
That's a handball.
Pennies and practice shirts being dropped there at the bottom of your screen. Looks like Jonathan Gomez may find himself in momentarily.
As you can see, all players still playing with the heart rate monitors. So under tough circumstances, not a lot of preseason and not the greatest game fitness. Important for your medical staff to monitor your players. Obviously, when they get into the red zone, we call that too often. Sometimes that predicates substitutions now, Mike. Not tactical, but
we'll get to that yellow card business in a moment. Mushagalusa. All the way through, there's an appeal for a foul. It goes unheard. The yellow card presented by World of Beer, Oscar Jimenez, apparently for time wasting.
Yeah, another smart one. Brazil will find himself in a few 1v1s where he needs maybe a foul, Mike, a tactical foul to stop Townsend.
Lancaster. Kuich, perhaps on the wrong side of this. Olmby fell down, making his dashing run.
Kansas City getting good numbers behind the ball real quick right there, because I thought that counter was on there with Olmby and with Lancaster, but the work rate of that midfield triangle of Riley, Davis, and Duke has been brilliant. But now Louisville continues to maintain possession. Very important as well right now. Let Kansas City run. We move the ball. We stay smart tactically, defensively. We don't take risks, but in the final third, let's go for it.
Toe shot of the back. McMahon elevated high up the field. It's McCabe sweeping again. Harris planted between the two center backs high up the field, hoping to spring the counter. Kansas City 2. Speedy Williams, another year, another final. Par for the course. He's been to the championship final each of the last 4 seasons, going back to his stint with New York Red Bulls. Driven ball, this will sneak by Raymond. Here's Olney, was in an offside position.
And we, just like a great referee, when you don't talk about a referee, he's a great referee, you don't see him, so to speak. Same with Speedy Williams, Mike. He does so many little things right for a team. Brilliant sitting in there.
Jonathan Gomez will replace Oscar Jimenez.
As we said, very good move again. Townsend got the better of Jimenez. And Jimenez on that yellow card.
And Luke Spencer, former interim coach, triumvirate member, comes on for Cameron Lancaster. The sub is brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Lancaster got his goal. He did his job.
Yeah, another good day at the office. Worked extremely hard as well off the ball. Deserving rest for him. And you come back with Spencer, who's a big unit. That's not easy to defend either. It gives you a little bit of a different look. You go with Ombi probably on the right.
Put the mask on, had to take it off. He was still catching his breath a bit. I imagine that'll be on again shortly. Well, it was a long day's night for Cameron Lancaster.
Slowly but surely also, Corbin Bowen has put a real stamp on this game. Initiated really that first goal. And he'll switch the point of attack, get the right fullback involved. That great first time cross by McCabe. Gets Lancaster floating to the far post, ghosting to the far post, because Ombi makes a good hard run. We talked about it, Mike. The weak-sided guy needs to get in the box. And sometimes you go across your number 9 to create a little bit of diversion and open space up for him.
Mushagalusa better be careful here. He's effectively run out of that pressure. Plays ahead, Townsend offside. Oh, he can't believe this.
And that's something that Paulo Nagamura is going to talk to him about. A little lazy by opening up, forcing the handball. You know, it's like a shooter in basketball. You know, pulling the trigger too fast, and there he gets lazy. So it's a handball against him. And this one here, you can see the whole line, Mike. There's no need for Townsend to be offsides in this position here.
Townsend. Back to Thompson.
Go.
And again, flag up.
And that's discipline, Mike, and youth and inexperience. No reason for Wilson Harris or Townsend to be offsides in those situations. That's just being a little bit lazy. That's just trying to cheat maybe so you can get to goal. And I'm sure that Nagamura will not be pleased with that.
Fans, head on over to Twitter to vote for tonight's Dr. Mark Linden Associates VisionWorks Man of the Match. Poll open for the next 8 minutes or so. Vote now, twitter.com/LouCityFC. Lancaster, Loon, Tosh, McCabe. Thoughts? Stuff the ballot box, Thomas.
Yes, absolutely. I'm stuffing it already. I've started.
Loon had a couple good saves.
Yes.
It's not a runaway, I would think.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, at 1-0, Loon made 2 back-to-back saves that could be crucial in a 1-0 game so far.
If you're home against Kansas City 2 back-to-back, anything less than 4 points has to be of major concern moving forward. We're talking about this is game 4. This is the quarter pole.
Great point, Mike.
All the way down the line. Maybe a chance here for Kansas City too. Drops into Duke. Slides it back into the wide area. Dylan Cerna. It's Riley. Turn to Cerna. Duke widens out, crosses, attempted bike. Not a lot to that. In the end, Harris leaves it right to Loon.
Correct. Harris goes, okay, Lancaster, you can do a bike, I can do a bike. He actually connects quite well. They get end line through some combination play. Wilson Harris makes that near post run, gets connection, and actually ends up in Loon's hands. By the way, good distribution. Again, I love the approach by Louisville.
Ball knocked over there to Ombi, and at this point it's a skills contest. He also tried to kick that overhead, and now foul by McMahon.
But they're still the aggressor at home at 75 minutes, playing with some risk, trying to pressure still over there. There's the interplay right there, end line. Good ball in, and there's that little bike. He does connect, actually. Good defending in the end by both center backs again, and Lund grabs that one.
Rad. Rabin back again, Rad. Rad, Rabin, Riley. Quarter of an hour plus stoppage to go. We still have a hydration break to come. So there's going to be plenty of stoppage. I heard Taylor Twellman say it on ESPN a couple days ago. The number of stoppage time goals in the second half have doubled in MLS is back compared to all the games last year. And he goes, it's because there's at least double the time in stoppage.
So true.
For one.
Absolutely true, right. That should have been a foul on Gomez, who came in obviously for Jimenez. Townsend is talking to the linesman saying right now, hey.
And we've reached the hydration break in Louisville. The temperature's beginning to simmer a little more. We're in the low 90s at kickoff. Cameron Lancaster, chance after chance. Louisville finally did break through in this affair. And he's got his mask on. It means his night already done. We'll begin with Corbin Bone. You talked about the impact he's had.
Yeah, in the second half especially, he's really being able to get in that final third. He starts, by the way, this attack here that ends up being a combination play with a first-time close by McCabe, and that floating, fading away by Lancaster going, boom, 1-0, baby.
Strikers only happy when they score. Lancaster's a happy man, and Omby dragged this wide seconds later.
Yeah, that was just seconds later. Again, Omby can hit you on the outside or the inside, comes inside, starts, and then another shot and a save by Brooks Thompson of Matasosa.
Well, the conversation there between two of Louisville City's most notable players, Oscar Jimenez, who came out, as well as Cameron Lancaster. What's the discussion now? You're talking 13 minutes plus potentially 3, 4, 5 minutes stoppage time.
Now you're talking being smart and somewhat conservative, which means back four, stay home most of the time. Fullbacks, only one goes today. Mr. Williams, Speedy Williams, sit in front of back four. Bone, we need you a little bit more defensively. But if we have the opportunity, possess the ball and still try to play on the half of the opponent, boys. Let's go.
See Jonathan Gomez there in the middle of your screen, number 42, 16 years old out of Texas. 8 games last year in League One for North Texas SC, the FC Dallas affiliate. There are changes coming. Barbier and Leaf are set to come in. Rabin and Riley come out. Leaf and Barbier come on. Sub brought to you by MHS Global. Here, Lance McGarvey, the longtime voice of Blue City, announced that. Gotta tell you, his voice sounds a lot better here than it did at Slugger Field. It almost, this is
really?
a real sound system, yeah.
Interesting.
It sounded good regardless.
This is a real sound system.
Yes, yes. I wish I had that voice. When I get to the gates, that's the voice that's going to tell me whether I'm in or I'm out. Alexi Sawahi has come on for Corbin Bone. Cleared defensive change for Louisville late in this one. Sub brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. And that could mean with Sawahi primarily a center back that Tosh could step forward as he did often last year as a number 6 out in front and allow Speedy Williams higher up the field.
Good point, Mike. Absolutely. That gives you a little bit more flexibility, but it also means that if Kansas City comes with 3 or 4 high or 2 central strikers, then you can still also play a 3 versus 2 centrally with your 3 center backs, basically.
Saw Barbier there a moment ago. Spencer won the foul, free kick.
Yeah, and that's just great. We haven't really seen Spencer involved, but anytime at this juncture you can find fouls in that attacking third through Spencer, that's a dead ball situation that chews time off the clock as well and gives you an opportunity on a set piece.
Mason Leaf, the foul, the 19-year-old making his second professional appearance. It's a 5th third free kick, nearing 80 minutes. And Lancaster's already off. He's your go-to to strike at target. Jimenez is your go-to to strike over the top. It'll be now McCabe. McCabe and the header lifted high by Alexi Sawahi.
Well defended again. Both teams have done a great job on set pieces, staying with runners, making it uncomfortable, winning their battles, first and second balls.
Sawahi, difficult game against Pittsburgh. There were 3 changes to that back line. Ockford and Sawahi are getting chances here to make good on what happened a few games ago.
Great point. And also, you know what I like about that is John still has faith and trust in these players. Otherwise, he would not play them. He sent them a subtle message, not starting anymore, but make a change when you come in.
Sprinting run ahead by Masoso. Kuich followed him out, and now he's tracking him over top of the defense. Back heel of Townsend came to Ownby.
I want to see miles traveled by Matsoso and Williams. Those 2 midfielders have bridged some ground that's unbelievable. Always available, like Williams is right here. Look at Matsoso, we're looking, checking for the ball again and helping you defensively. Huge, great 2-way midfielders.
Masoso last year took the Open Cup and just desperation of needing a healthy body to get him into the lineup. In the end, he started 20 league games. Ownby brought that down, and there's a lot of extra stuff here. Townsend and Ownby.
Got offsides initially on Brian Ownby. It's the second time now in the last few minutes. Again, the buildup is on the right side, Mike. You can see the whole defensive line. You got to hold your run a little bit and then break, and especially you have got great speed as well. There's no need to cheat.
So it's Rad working out of the back in front of 4,850 fans in Louisville. Runs all the way down here to Loon.
Yeah, well done by Loon there. He thought he might be able to catch that one inside the 18. It doesn't go there, and this time he just goes out of bounds. Let's reorganize, guys, get numbers back. And stay tough these last 10 minutes.
Spencer bashing off Barbier and rolled down the line. Tosh certainly not playing like a center back when you're that far upfield.
Oh, you just said that, Mike. Now you have the flexibility to push him into midfield. And anytime a center back can get into midfield, believe me, he wants to go up front, he wants to score.
Corner kicks are presented by Single Point Solutions, in your corner with superior customer support. Single Point Solutions. The solution for Louisville City here is not a single point, it's 3 points.
Yes.
And a second goal here would go a long way in securing those points. Now McCabe to take the corner in the 84th. Spencer knocked it down. Sawahi turns, tried to lift that into the roof.
Good opportunity. Spencer's been involved there. Draw a foul, drew a corner basically with 2.
This will be the end of the line, sub-wise, for Sporting Kansas City. Resetar has come on. Replaces Christian Duke, sub brought to you by MHS Global. And LaFleur, who was signed yesterday, comes in and replaces Musha Galusa.
How tough is that? You've been with the team literally 1 training session, maybe not. Also shows you the lack of depth probably that Kansas City has, with quite a few players that normally on this team are probably in the bubble right now in Orlando with the first team.
Absolutely. Spoke with Ryan Martin, the head coach at Loudoun United earlier in the week. He said we probably would have 5 starters with us, and there's no expense spared making sure that you have everything you need in the MLS's back bubble.
Which is reference to DC United that normally gives those players. Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in for some of those clubs, you're right. And unfortunately, you get skewed results that way at times as well.
A lot of back and forth there. Harris getting his arm high. He was being dragged. Gets the foul there in the end. You think about Sporting Kansas City too now. You only have one home game left. You are potentially 6 points behind Louisville and St. Louis. St. Louis is playing Indy tomorrow. Indy could be potentially 15 points ahead. All of a sudden, first is out of the realm of possibility.
Yep.
This is a desperate moment for a young team. And yet, in speaking with Paulo Nagamura, he said probably development-wise, while it's difficult as a manager to deal with all these road games, this may really exacerbate the development of young players.
Right. And they have a wealth of experience. 2017, 2018 USL Cup playoffs, lost in the final against, you say it correctly, talk to me, Real?
No, Real Monarchs for Louisville.
Correct, exactly.
Real Monarchs? the actual Monarchs?
So this Kansas City team has proven their yellow card on Rad, who's, by the way, been excellent throughout. Just lost, and that's only one thing he needs. He lost Lancaster once, Mike, and Lancaster made him pay for it. But this young kid has shown some ability that I really like.
Yellow card brought to you by World of Beer. I mean, you think about these two teams, there are very few that could argue they've been more successful over the last 5 years. Louisville has been to the conference final every year of their existence. They've won 2 championships. They've also been to another. Sporting Kansas City went to the 16 and 17 finals, lost to Louisville by way of a Luke Spencer goal, and lost to New York Red Bulls in what was a bit of a throttling, to be fair.
Yeah. And the interesting part, too, as much as Paulo Nagamura talked about we're in a different kind of mindset in terms of what our end goal is. He also said we play to win each and every game. So he'll be disappointed after a pretty good performance, but again, not getting a result if this stands.
Come to think of it, it was a Brandon Allen hat trick in 2016 for Red Bulls 2 as a 5-1 loss. It was 1-0 loss to Louisville in 17. It was Speedy Williams over the top, hitting Cameron Lancaster for the game winner in that game. In the 88th minute, it was Luke Spencer who scored the following year against Phoenix Rising to secure a second title in a row.
Mike Watts at its best. Can I borrow your brain, Mike, for a minute or not? That's brilliant, by the way.
I'm a little slow here.
You summarized that real well, by the way.
Oh, took a little while.
It's all good.
Regain the.
All good.
We've all spent 4 months off from this.
Yes, we have.
There's 2 stars on the crest. Must we say more? 2 minutes and stoppage to go here for Kansas City 2 to spoil the party. They will stay in town the next few days, play again on Wednesday night. Exactly where you're watching right now, you can watch it again. And then they will take the lengthy 500-mile bus ride back to Kansas City.
But you and I talked about that, Mike, real quick. For an experienced team, that would be not good. For these 17, 18, 19, this is like road trip, baby.
College.
They don't know any better, but there's still responsibility that need to be taught both on and off the field, obviously, under these crazy circumstances that we are in. Not easy for a young team to be able to be in isolation, probably, and making sure that they stay healthy and traveling by bus. Spencer's been really good, by the way, coming off the bench, but just maintaining possession.
Tonby, slide in there by Mason Leaf.
Yeah, and then getting a corner, which again, Mike, that clock will tick now, right now. Let's see when that corner kick takes. It's about 30 seconds. Look at this. These players are spent right now. Tonby's putting so much into this game. Matsoso just pulled up a little bit with cramp on the last play. These are tough circumstances. And as I said again, not with players that yet are in great game shape. due to the mere fact they haven't had a month and a half preseason.
That's true. And they look at the board and see 7 minutes. Stoppage time presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. 7 additional minutes. That could have changed it drastically. A header wide. They could have doubled their advantage, and Oxford off the mark.
Yeah, Oxford has been great. Not easy to come in as a center back and basically do all the little things right, which he's done on the defensive and the attacking end. Look at Umby still trying to go end line as well. And there you see a good ball in by Corbin Bone, far post, going to the big boy. And I'm telling you, I think it's Wilson Harris that puts a little bit of a body on him. And Oxford would like to get that one back because he had a real good look.
It's Brooks Thompson, the youngest player to sign a contract as a professional with Sporting Kansas City too. Did it at 16, he's 18 now. It's only his 3rd professional start. All lobbed along. Pushing in, Resetar. The ball across. In the end, it's a foul on the leap by Resetar, and Sawahi rolling around in pain, slapping the surface.
Sawahi did well there. Stepping in, reading the passing lane, Mike. There's a little bit contact late. I don't think it's anything serious. Again, the ability right there for Kansas City to get end line. That early cross comes in, and then there's a might take that back.
Well, he's coming over and trying to help stretch him out, but I don't think he realizes how his leg bent there.
Yep. And a huge hyper extension right there. Not with more intent, by the way. Both players are going hard for a ball. So why he gets a piece of it, and then the body of the opponent slams into him and really forces his leg in places it shouldn't go.
And I think there's a high likelihood the referee is equally unaware, and there's nothing malicious in what happened at all.
There wasn't. And it took us a replay to really realize, to see how that leg really hyperextended in a way that looked really awkward. I'll be surprised if he can continue, by the way. That would be incredible.
Well, your problem for Louisville now.
Well, the doctors go, thumbs up, he's fine. It looks like he's fine. Wow.
The human body, really something, isn't it?
It is. You and I would have been on a stretcher, Mike. So why he's coming, look at that. So why he's coming back, and he needs to straight all the way around to the halfway line in order for the referee to call him on, which I think that should be changed. Although he's not running right, he's still suffering, but he will suffer for the team as well.
Well, we may get to 8 or 9 minutes potentially, as stoppage time had already commenced. Great service, by the way, on that from Isaiah LaFleur on the return, the 17-year-old academy player who's making his pro debut in this game. LaFleur, the target here, that'll run by him. Somehow Sawahi is back.
Yeah, but look at him. He's bending his knee a few times now, hands in the side. He's not right. He knows that he needs to stay in there because there's no other option, but what a tough customer.
Throw Louisville. Townsend trying to move this along. Gomez, older brother, Johan playing at Porto's academy. Kuich struggling here with Omby. Omby can help seal this, lays it across, and this knocked wide. What a laser beam that was. Niall McCabe with a blast.
Both wingers today were excellent. Brian Omby and serving now McCabe coming from a deep position.
goodness, what a rip that was.
That would have been nice. We would probably have to change the player of the game, because that would have been a goal and an assist from McCabe if he would have put that one across to Lancaster, making the difference right now.
Boy, howdy, I've got bad news for you. That Twitter poll's over, friend.
Fair enough.
It's the equivalent of being a newspaper writer and rewriting the lead late on here. It's already been sent to press. Bounding ball is Gomez, got a piece. Rad as Kansas City tries to probe, perhaps grab something late, knowing they'll face Louisville again on Wednesday night. Spencer pulls forward and with a drag commits a foul on Jake Davis. Kansas City's already explored their depth in this game, all 5 subs. They're going to have to do something similar on Wednesday night. They described the need for a perfect game to win on the road against some of this opposition. 4 times they'll play each team in their division, and all 4 times will be on the road. Indy, St. Louis, and Louisville, 3 of the most difficult places to win in the USL Championship. Gomez lost that. And if you think back in hindsight at the end of the first half, Kansas City was in the attacking third with a decent looking option, 13 seconds over the minimum allotted stoppage time. The referee blew the whistle, so no time to waste.
Nope.
Ball ahead. Flag is down. Here it is. Spencer. Rad closing down. It's Ownby. Ownby around the keeper. He must. In front, off the post and in. In slow motion, Louisville grabs their second and surely 3 points.
Classic counter, Mike. Starting with Spencer, finding Ownby.
And the flag is up, offside.
Offside's maybe that last pass from Ownby to Spencer, trying to get too cute. Ownby put that one away. Here's Spencer going across to Ownby. Is that the offsides, or is it still alive? Gets around the goalkeeper, finds Spencer right now. That might have been in the offsides position. I'm not sure, because it looked like he was behind the ball.
Well, we're told we'll get at least 1 more minute here.
I want to see a 1-0-0 on that clock, Mike. I don't think I've seen that this year yet.
I think we might. The first game in Louisville against Pittsburgh went over 100.
Did it really?
It did. Wow. I didn't know the clock counted that high.
And again, a little mystery about the offsides, Mike, if it was Ownby or Spencer on that goal, but it's pulled back and it's still 1-0.
Now Spencer through the challenge of Barbier. Instead of looking for their second, Louisville seems.
Yep. Kill the clock, get in the corner, get throw-ins, get corners. Stay high now if you can, because you got numbers there.
Throw Kansas City. Paulo Nagamura leaping and shouting to get the team forward. And there's the final whistle at 99 minutes. Louisville 1-0 over Sporting Kansas City 2. Their 2-game losing streak is over, and 4,850 released the smoke. A huge 3 points in Group E.
It certainly was. That back four rewarded John Hackworth today with keeping a clean sheet. Lund, absolutely brilliant with 2 great saves. And then the big difference maker, Lancaster from McCabe. By the way, also a guy that started over Hoppenup in his first game. 1-0. And you know what? Clean sheet, a W was the key for Louisville today. They get it done.
Tonight's Dr. Mark Lennon Associates VisionWorks Man of the Match was Cameron Lancaster. And the Value Forms clean sheet to Ben Lunt. Had a clean sheet against North Carolina FC all the way back in the opener in March and grabs his second now here in July.
Gates 4, 5, and 6 are now open for exit. Once again, you're welcome to remain seated.
Look at Paulo Nagamura walking off the field right now. That's a warrior of a coach. Not happy with some of the decisions that they made. Not happy with the mere fact he should got more minutes on the clock. But at the end of the day, it's 1-0 Louisville. But Kansas City, proud of their performance on the road today.
Lou City over Sporting KC2. The Kentucky Office of Highway Safety presents our postgame show when we return.
People are getting back out there, and your Toyota dealers say, welcome back, America, with low APR financing and great leases on Camry, the #1 selling car in America 18 years in a row. And now you can get a Camry with $2,000 customer cash off your best deal. That's $2,000 off any new Camry, including Camry Hybrid, Camry All-Wheel Drive, and Camry TRD. Don't miss your chance to get $2,000 off your best Camry deal at your Toyota dealer. Today, tomorrow, Toyota.
My name is Alex Thomas, and I am a third-generation owner-operator of Thomas Car Wash.
Eli Thomas. I'm second-generation Thomas Car Wash. We were founded in 1946. My father and my uncle, they hand-washed. I started in, when we were 8 and 9 years old. We'd come home from school, my father would call, tell us to come and do front and back bumpers. We could barely reach the bumper, but he wanted us working early. We're still with it, me and my brother and my son. We've been around for, 70-something years. Gotta be doing something right.
Welcome back, everybody. 1-0 Louisville over Sporting KC2. And it's a big win to start a big week for Louisville as they pick up the goal through Cameron Lancaster. And now they look forward to Wednesday night's match against SKC2. I call it a return leg, but again, it'll be here at Lynn Family Stadium. Here's tonight's Toyota move of the game. Let's go places. It's this little extra work here from McMahon to find McCabe, and then the service.
Absolutely brilliant service of McCabe that starts today on that right side. First time ball, Ombi near post. Lancaster goes to that far post. And that header is just perfect. Powerful, strong, far post, no chance goalkeeper.
Clinical, gorgeous. Fans making their way out here. Would have been a much different situation if not for the All-State good hands save of the game. It's all Ben Lunt.
Oh, absolutely. Townsend coming in that second half. But Lunt getting the better on both occasions. Good stand-up save, good foot save to give it at 1-0.
Good hands and good feet.
Yes.
Here are your full-time stats. Louisville got far more good opportunities in this game, but like you said, Sporting KC2 looked the part.
Absolutely. You look at those numbers there, Mike. You don't put the score up there. This is an even game. But in the end, I think the experience of Louisville, the adjustments of John Hackworth, and staying true to their DNA made the difference in the end.
Let's take a look at our full-time match highlights and get you caught up on our full 90 minutes of play as Louisville knocks off SKC2. Corbin Bone played a big role early in this game. Lancaster almost had the goal of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Great run by Corbin Bone. Even better by your number 9 coming to the ball, that half volley / bias. But Lancaster isn't done.
Lancaster grabs the game's only goal, that great leaning header.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Great leaning header and the ability for him to find that space because of Ombi's run. What a good overlap by McCabe there. Boom, going first time, playing with his head up, knowing where Lancaster is. No chance for the goalkeeper. Huge goal.
And nearly a huge goal the other way. Townsend fresh onto the team and nearly beat Lunt.
Lunt was huge, absolutely huge. This is what a good goalkeeper does at 1-0. I'll keep my team in this game, baby.
One save and a second as Riley knocked that wide. And a decent look here from Musha Galusa.
And Lunt even better this time with his feet, Mike, you're right. Arms, hand, feet, doesn't matter. He got the job done.
And Ben Lunt keeps a clean sheet, and Louisville is off the schneid since the restart. could have had a couple goals here late that would have sent everyone home with a few less palpitations.
Yeah, Omby setting up his counterpart on the right side. McCabe for this one, who had an assist already, just goes wide.
And they thought they had their goal in the final minutes as well. In this instance, Ownby trying to figure out where the offside comes from, but indeed this goal didn't count.
I don't know, Mike. It's a great play, by the way. Spencer really involved when he came off the bench, playing that give and go, a double give and go with Ownby, but null and void.
So our next telecast comes on Wednesday night. Louisville and Sporting KC2 will do it all again here at Lynn Family Stadium, as Scouse's house will be at it once more. 4,850 saw this one as Louisville gets the job done with their backs against the wall, and all eyes turn to tomorrow's game on ESPN Plus and ESPN Deportes, St. Louis and Indy, for how Group E continues to shape up. For our entire team in Louisville, led by producer Andrew Firestein, director Scott Ferguson, Jose Ontiveros, Steffi Aguilera, and Thomas Rongan alongside. Mike Watts saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Wednesday night. So long.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.